Straight into what we have for you today. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to FCT Brief. This morning, our spotlight is on the Dangote refinery and its emerging fuel distribution model, a development already reshaping the landscape of Nigeria's oil and gas sector. With promises of low fuel prices, improved supply, and national self-sufficiency, many hail it as a game changer. But concerns are also rising. Could this be the beginning of a new kind of monopoly? Located in the Lekki Free Trade Zone, the Dangote refinery is Africa's largest, boasting a 650,000 barrel per day capacity. Since its commissioning, it has begun to redefine how fuel is produced, priced, and distributed in Nigeria.
Unlike the traditional Nigerian fuel supply chain, which is heavily dependent on imports and government subsidies, Dangote's model is integrated from refining to distribution, aiming to eliminate middlemen, reduce costs, and ensure constant supply. However, as the refinery begins local product distribution, some marketers and depot owners express worry. With Dangote setting its own prices and controlling much of the supply infrastructure, smaller players' fear is if one player controls production and distribution, what checks are then in place? The Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority has assured the public that regulatory framework exists to prevent market manipulation. For more insights on this unfolding move by the Dangote refinery, let's speak with a former National President, Trade Union Congress, Comrade Peter Esele, who joins us via Zoom. Good morning, Comrade.
Good morning.
All right. And also here in the studio, we have the National Secretary of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, James Tall. Thanks for coming on the show today.
Good morning.
It's good to have you.
Yeah, let's go. Let me start with you, Comrade Tall. Talking about the plan by Dangote to roll out his distribution network across the country to help help us have effective supply chain. What's your reaction as an independent marketer?
Well, as you already called, my name is James Telumuto. I'm an indigenous of Benue State, and as you started, ordinary, I'm not supposed to be here because I'm here with heavy heart of what is happening home. Thank God the president is coming today. And I just pray that God should intervene and justice will come. Coming back to what you asked me, you know, IPMA that I represent is a number of registered companies with a population of over 30,000. And we have petrol filling stations all over the country, every nook and cranny of the country, over 155,000. And we are in the business. In the business, the joy of the business is competition. So when tendencies are coming to eliminate a group of people, one start thinking. But the Dangote model you are talking of is unknown to IPMAN. We are in discussion. We haven't taken a decision. We are looking at it. By the time we look at it, we analyze it and come up with a position on it. But definitely, in summary, business is competition, not monopoly.
All right, I'll come back to you. Mr. Esele, I would like to take you back to a statement made by Mele Kyari, who warns that giving Dangote too much power in the energy space could be risky for Nigeria. Now that Dangote is taking this bold step to fuel distribution, is there a real fear that he could hold the country to ransom? And should the government be putting anything in place to avoid monopoly of the system?
Once again, good morning, and let me also say my love and prayers are with people in Benue, and the president as commander-in-chief is also the monarch-in-chief. So it's our expectation that the president as the monarch-in-chief will do the needful. So now to what you just asked me, I would say people can be afraid because whenever anything new comes, people are always afraid of change. So I always advocate that changes is something we should learn to get used to. And then whatever happens, we have the regulators. So the regulators would know what to do. We must give the regulators the benefit of a doubt. When you just made reference to milk carry, when NNPC was the only one importing product, but nobody told us NNPC was a monopoly. So NNPC itself was a monopoly too. So what I'm looking at here is competition. Dangote is coming on. He borrowed a lot of money to build that refinery, so he has to pay. And then in doing this, he's being creative. If he's sending products to stations for free, which invariably means about 2, 3, or 4 naira leaves the cost of PMS, what you have is that is good for the consumers. Sure. And then I also don't, one of the things I've always talked about over the time is the idea of having a liter of petroleum product being imported into this country. And I think Dangote refinery is putting a stop to all of that. In the last 6 months, we still have people bringing in products, importing product into this country. When you have a refinery that is 650,000 barrels that can meet our local consumption. So yes, there can be concern, but there's nothing for us to fear because I have that belief that the regulators will do the needful.
I'll come back to you, but Mr. Chol, let me just follow up with this question. IPMAN is scared of the possibility of monopoly. But to the average Nigerian, they don't seem to have this fear because over time, through the operations of IPMAN, you've also had this, in quote, manipulation of prices. When there is an increase, maybe you say there's an increase in international markets and you have old stock, you just automatically increase your costs. You don't consider that this is an old stock. But when there's a reduction, you will say, oh, it will take time for us. So it has never been in the interest of the public. Now, if Dangote wants it to be in the interest of the public, now, where do we draw the line? Is it the fear of IPMAN? Is it the benefit of IPMAN or the public outlook that we're thinking about now?
Well, that's a good one. IPMAN, as an association, we are not entertaining any fear at all.
Okay.
Because, thank God, we're in democracy, and we have the number. 30,000 people, companies with over 155,000 filling stations across the country is a huge number to face any competition that comes. Okay. What we are saying is that NNPC, the reference he gave there, well, he has given it. But let me tell you, the model Dangote is coming with, Dangote is a refiner. Dangote is a supplier and distributor. Dangote is a retailer under 1%. How is it going to operate? Even the government, the federal government that was holding this thing, it has to diversify so that it will spread. And that is where the IPMAN is looking at it. But we cannot say anything now until the model comes out clearly. We analyze it and come to, because it is our business. We know how to play it, and we will play it. So IPMAN is not afraid, but we are waiting calmly to see when he unveils the proper, how it will be executed. We come out to say, and everybody will see it. Because honestly, as I earlier on said, business is competition. But when you intend to one person doing the business, what is the fate of other people? Forget about IPMAN, Nigerians.
If you say that, at the end of the day, all Nigerians want is to have this petrol at an affordable rate, and also availability is what counts. But with this model that Dangote is introducing, don't you think that this will put a stop to it? Even if you express fear of monopoly, don't you think this is the beginning of, you know, a competitive environment? If he begins and he's successful, don't you think this will also attract other people to come and invest in this kind of, you know, sector and make it more competitive to drive prices lower?
Well, if the issue of driving the price lower starts from the production, even when the NNPC was solely doing it, we were always saying, we are lacking product. Give us product. Now Dangote has come in. We're looking at it that he will beef up the production. And if the production is beefed up and the supply starts coming, distribution will be improved upon, and retailing, the price automatically will go down. But a situation where, look, there are two aspects of things here. One man holding and doing every other thing, every other person just looking at it.
But what's the difference? IPMAN is already like a monopoly. Because IPMAN, you say you have about 30
registered company membership.
And it's difficult when you when you look at the pricing. It's the decision taken by IPMAN that is driven down to the consumer. So it's like a monopoly. We don't have that kind of competition among your members that, oh, the price here is high, let me reduce this one so that our force down. It's like we have a collective decision to increase price, we have a collective decision to reduce price. So you operate like a monopoly to the ordinary Nigerian.
Maybe you didn't get it well. IPMAN cannot be a monopoly because IPMAN, this is independent petrol marketers. Yeah. We have major petrol marketers. For instance, you see corn oil, Wando, all these things, they are into retailing too. So there is a competition there. It is not solely IPMAN. IPMAN membership is independent marketers. And we look on to the supply. If we get the product, definitely, nobody will buy petrol and keep. Once you get it, so they should concentrate on production, supply, so that we will make sure that this product goes where it's supposed at affordable price.
All right, Mr. Peter, you heard what Mr. Tor said about the availability of this.
I think we should just go on a commercial break.
All right, let's take a quick commercial break. This is still FCT Brief, and we're still discussing the control in the energy sector, especially in the distribution system and Dangote distribution model. Well, Peter Esele, I was trying to ask you, you heard what Mr. Tor said before we went on the break. Getting this product directly is a problem. There is also talk about poor truck coordination at these pickup stations. Don't you think this should be addressed? All these salient issues should be addressed before we even look at, boiling down to the downstream sector?
Thank you very much. Let me also address some of the things he had highlighted. First, he made reference that I think IPMAN's position is that they are afraid. They are afraid. That's what is underneath it. They are worried about what is to come. But we also need to ask ourselves, what Dangote is doing is not different from what NNPC have been doing. NNPC was a refiner. NNPC has a retail outlet. And NNPC was also into distribution. So when NNPC was doing all of this, nobody says it was a monopoly. And NNPC was also very, very inefficient.
Yeah.
I think we'll come back to Mr. Esele, but you heard what he said, that IPMAN seems to be expressing fear. And, this is what NNPC had been doing before Dangote came into the picture. So why does IPMAN have that or a sense of fear in this case?
Well, I wish he would have ended this thing. But let me tell you, IPMAN has no fear at all because we have the number. We are in the business. And that is where we survive. What we are saying is, any business without competition, you are heading to somewhere else. Dangote is a producer, a refiner of this product. Good. He's going to have a good, huge volume that we pull out. From there, the same Dangote, he has entered into distribution, bringing trucks. 4,000 trucks.
Okay, we'll come back to you. Esele is let him just complete the thoughts he has there so that you can respond properly. Comrade, you're trying to express your thoughts.
Now, what Dangote is going to do is what NNPC have been doing. So if we have these fears, why were these fears not there when NNPC was doing it? Because everybody, whether along the value chain, was supportive of NNPC's inefficiency. Now, there are worries about Dangote is coming with 4,000 trucks. Now, what are the fears about competition? Competition is there because, one, BOA is coming on stream. If BOA does not come on stream this year, BOA is going to come on stream next year. And then BOA too need to find how they too can also distribute their products. So what you are having now is not different from what we've had. But what I'm happy about is that there is going to be a competition that will be beneficial to the ordinary Nigerians. Now, these are the three things that I look at in what Dangote is doing. First, Dangote is going to create employment. That's one. Second, you are going to have competition because BUA is going to come on stream. And then Dangote, because he borrowed those money to build that refinery, is going to ensure that there is efficiency. There's going to be efficiency in the system. And then thirdly, Dangote refinery is going to help us save FX. First, we cannot consume all the product coming out of that refinery, so Dangote is going to export. So when it does that export, what it does is that we are going to have FX from it, there's going to be less pressure. Now, Ipman is complaining about, oh, it's possible one man or one company runs the whole thing. Now, since Dangote came on board, there are still independent marketers who are importing products. So nobody is stopping them from importing product. And what Dangote is also doing is also for his survival of his company. Because I'm aware at those initial times, there was also some disagreement about people saying that they should have a right to import. And the federal government is not stopping anybody from importing. So when you go ahead to import, what you are doing is that you are also undermining Dangote's business. And not just undermining Dangote's business, you are also undermining the laws of the country. In PIA, Petroleum Industry Act, is very clear. Once you have a local refiner that can meet our daily consumption, there should be no liter of petrol being brought into this country. But you have people who are also violating that because they are bringing in product into this country. So this competition, there is competition, and I love what is happening. And if Dangote also go overboard, I have absolute confidence in the regulators to call Dangote to order. We must allow things to change. We must allow new innovation. We must allow, because no society grows by doing things the same way. So what Dangote is bringing to the fore is a new way of thinking. And if along the way it's not working the way we all think it should work for Nigerians, I think the government has the capacity and the capability to call Dangote to order.
All right. Mr. James Thor, in the past we've seen fuel marketers hoard products, even lifting and creating artificial scarcity and panic. Don't you think that this model that Dangote is introducing would, hedge out all that?
That's hoarding
of
fuel can only happen when the supply chain is not trusted. And that has been the problem in Nigeria. And when Dangote, look, before I move forward, Dangote is a welcome development to this our country, especially to Ipman, because Ipman has been crying since, and it's even part of the reason of the holding. Because if you have product and you cannot get more, you now start thinking of how you will not dry your station. So when Dangote was coming, we were thinking and believed that our station will be always worth.
So is it different? Is it different now?
No, not question of difference. But the question of the level is going, we don't understand. And I'm saying that we are not even having anything to say now until the model is open up. He talk of the regulators. Good. If he comes, now we are looking on to go Dangote and the government. Because in Nigeria, it's the government that refines the refineries, and Dangote is refining. By the time they come out clearly with the template, that is where Ipman will have something to say.
But has Ipman made any attempt to meet Dangote on maybe a negotiation table or round table to discuss this model to fully understand? Because from what you're saying, Ipman does not really understand what this is bringing to the table.
Quite correct. We just woke up this week. I think, is it not this week that we woke up and we started hearing trucks coming, all these things that are coming. But I know that definitely, before then, we've been talking with Dangote. In fact, arrangement is on ground that Ipman will be a major mover of the products of Dangote.
No, let me ask you this. Like the comrade said, that the coming of Dangote will bring efficiency because it's a private sector player. Ipman are also private sector players. Why is it difficult for Ipman to push for efficiency amongst your members? Because sometimes you go on the road, you see the trucks used by your members to even lift this fuel. So have you also tried to ensure that your members go with the best international standard so that Nigeria, exactly, of operations?
That's a good one. You see, it's the same thing. Those trucks that are coming today, they are flashy, they are good. What are the position of our roads? Let them ply on our roads for, let's say, 6 months. Even our trucks, we didn't buy old trucks. It might normally buy new trucks by the nature. So we have to address all this. I remember I came here one time, I was talking of the roads, improvement on our roads. If government can do those things, these are the areas to address and coming to solve this type of problem. I can tell you some of our members, they have over 2,000 trucks. A member, a person, out of the 30 people are in that line. But the problem is management or the creating the atmosphere for these things to operate well. So if Dangote comes, already we have received, we're happy, we have joined. But let us understand the model, how it is coming up. Once we understand, definitely, I assure you, ITMA will cooperate and we fix him very well because we know he will play with us.
Now, is it possible if Dangote does not play with you, ITMA will frustrate his operations? Now, just before you answer, let's quickly go on a brief commercial break. We'll be right back.
His distribution model. Now, I'd like to come to you, Mr. Peter Isele. We keep hearing the big push for CNG. I would like us to touch a little on CNG because Dangote says that these trucks that are going to be used in the distribution are CNG powered. But we keep hearing this introduction of CNG and a lot of Nigerians don't know where to assess this CNG. We keep making innovations and, you know, we don't plan for those innovations. Don't you think this should also be considered before actually launching fully into this with this kind of model?
Dangote is a private entity. Dangote is not government. And as a private entity, what you want to do is that first, you want to pay back your loan. Second, you want to make profit. Third, you want to be of service. So if Dangote is bringing 4,000 trucks, he must have a plan for the CNG. So first is for government. Government responsibility is to come out with a policy to support CNG investment, to create that enabling environment. For Dangote to do what he wants to do, he must also create a CNG infrastructure. So we don't have to wait for all of these for the whole country to become CNG infrastructure compliant. It's just like you talk about Tesla. Tesla made their cars, but the whole of United
I seem to have lost connection there. Well, Mr. Tor, do you have any contributions to the question I asked, or I should ask you something else?
No, the way I want to address is where they say that ITMA will frustrate Dangote. ITMA cannot and will never frustrate Dangote, but ITMA will definitely adopt measures to survive because we are businessmen. I can give you an example. In Lagos State, Lekki-Ekpe road corridor, they say that each and every truck that passes, we pay 12,500 levy. We told them, we are not against that, but the amount is too huge. Already the prices of product is high. If our members pay that, definitely we pass to consumer because ITMA must survive. So they attempted to implement, and we wrote. Now they have called us for discussion, which I definitely believe they will come down. So ITMA cannot frustrate, but ITMA must adopt a system to survive because we are in the business.
Now it's really talked about, well, the other time we talked about some members are still importing fuel. Why do we have that system? Dangote said his capacity, his production can meet Nigerians' consumption. Why are your members still into importation?
Well, we are into ITMA, DAPMA, that is Depot and Petroleum Products Marketing Associations. That is that group that, because in ITMA, we have not really gone into the importation, started or resumed importation yet.
Okay.
So
Okay, comrade.
Okay, you can go ahead.
All right.
Yes. So when you look at all of this, is that we don't have to wait for the infrastructure to be available. The CNG comes on board, and then society grows on trial and errors. So you certain policy comes up, you notice that there are errors, you correct it. But if you are looking for a perfect system, you are never going to have it. Dangote is a businessman. Ipman is a businessman, business entity. That man is a business entity. The depot owners also import product. So what you have here now is a competing interest of businessmen who wants to make money. So I also have an interest. My interest is I buy PMS. So I want to be able to drive into a filling station and buy PMS. And even if it's possible at a cheaper price. So what Dangote is bringing in here is that there's going to be competition. And you are not going to have a problem whereby you look at what happened in the international market. The price of crude is now right now is $74. Now, you've had some of these filling station prices have already increased. Meanwhile, they still have old stock. So why are they doing that? But when you have a Dangote refinery, if the prices fall today, in within 48 hours, Dangote will correct it. The prices will come down. But we've never had that. You are going to have marketers telling us that they have old stock. But if the prices increase right now, they will tell you they have old stock. For the next 1 month, they'll tell you the new prices are not here. And they will keep selling at that old rate. With that will also be taken care of. Now, we also talk about the look at the efficiency aspect of it. The efficiency aspect of it, you and I will agree that NNPC has been very, very inefficient over these years. We are no longer going to be dreaming of having queues. Queues will disappear. And if NNPC does not wake up, I must commend the new board. But the new board now knows that with Dangote coming on stream, with Dangote's innovation, he said that NNPC wakes up or they are going to drink their PMS. How? You may ask me how this is going to happen. Because NNPC now also have a retail outlet. So you are not going to be having people going to buy from NNPC. So, and if you look at what Dangote is doing right now, you just go to the street, you find out that the outlet that are now selling Dangote petroleum products drives more cars going there than all others. I don't want to mention their names now so that we don't give them free advice. Exactly. So these are the things that everybody needs to wake up. Ipman needs to adapt to survive.
Well, totally understood. And we must say thank you for your contributions on the program this morning. It was a delight speaking with you. Thank you so much, Mr. Esele Peter.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Also, Mr. James Thor, it's a pleasure speaking with you again this morning. Thank you so much for your contributions.
Thank you so much.